तेग बहादुर सिमरिए कर नाउने दावे ताए, तेग बहादुर सिमरिए कर नाउने दावे ताए, सब थाई होए सहाय। परम सत्कारयोग गुरु खालसा साध संगत जी, गज बज के फतेह बुलाओ। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। We're all blessed to be in the company of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. We're all blessed to be in the company of Sahib Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj in their 11th and their eternal farm, as they've blessed us and brought us together today to have a chance to share from their wonderful teachings, itihas, to take the teachings of the Shabad. Those teachings of the Shabad are here to help us realize who we really are inside. We travel through this world trying to fit like a square into a circle in different places, hoping that one day that square will fit, only to find ourselves finding that the company that we're seeking out isn't quite for us as we move on in this journey of life from one place to the next, until we find ourselves at home, until we find ourselves in the charan of the Guru, in the dust of the Sangat, and we have a chance to realize that this is the place that we've been yearning for. And you'll know this to be the case when the Guru blesses us with itihas. You'll know this to be the case when the Sangat, when love for the Sangat starts to grow in your heart. Guru Maharaj explains this to us, that when you have compassion, when you have love for the Sangat in your heart, that is when you know that the Guru has been kind to you. That when in your heart you are sitting somewhere else and all that you want to do is find the Sangat of the Guru, you know that the Guru has been kind to you. For having love for the Sangat is by the blessings of the Guru, it's the dart of the Guru. That in your heart, if you have a chance to think compassionate thoughts, that before you congratulate yourself for that chance to have that compassion, that daya, that love, understand that that is a gift, that is a gift to you by the Guru. For those that are stone-hearted, we should look at not in anger. For those that are stone-hearted, we should look at with compassion, but you don't have that dart of the Guru. It is said, when Nome Pacha Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, who is born into the house of Sheme Pacha Miri Piri the Malak, Sahib Sri Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, Dal Panjan Guru Surma, Varjoda Bahu Parupakari, that great vanquisher of armies. It is said that when Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the youngest of 5 sons, when they are, we don't use the word born, but when they took the form that they took, when they took avatar in the house of Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, that at a young age they're at their brother's wedding, Baba Gurditta Ji, and they're dressed in the robes, that an attire of what a royal prince would wear to a royal occasion. And having the robes of a prince draped upon his shoulders, he finds himself outside, face to face with one who's a beggar in the streets, who's Garib. And seeing the difficulty of this one crying out, protect me from this cold, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, in the young form, in the physical form, they take off that jola, they take off that robe that protected them from the biting of the cold. That in that darkness of the cold of the wind of the world, they take off those clothes and they place them on the body of that beggar, and they themselves are physically naked. They go back home, or they go back into the sight of their mother, Mata Nanaki Ji, the Mehel, the wife of Sri Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji. And obviously she's worried to see her son in this way, and she starts speaking, look, my son is walking around naked, exposed to the elements. And they go to Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji perhaps to offer their complaints, their concerns. And the Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji, even at that age of a young child, hearing of their son as a young child in the physical form, as Mata Nanaki Ji speaks of her concerns about his condition exposed to the elements, what does Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji say? What was their prophecy? They would say, today he is taken off his jola and covered one, protected one. But in the time to come, the whole nation will be protected under his banner. The whole world will be known, he will be known as that one, that is the protector. Hind di chadarapa kende bhi, they're that one that would stand against the most darkest of nights, the most darkest of elements. That night that would last for years under that regime, that Mughal regime that would seek to try and convert all through force and fear and violence. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji would be the offerer of that robe, of that protection. Anchal gehe ke sadka tarna eho sansar. That they would seek out that robe of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Who is it? Who is it that we speak of? We speak of those Kashmiri Pandits that would come to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji many years later. And that one, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, now they are no longer a young boy. They are now sitting on the throne of Guru Nanak. And Sher Afghan Khan has been dispatched by Aurangzeb. Sher Afghan Khan has been dispatched by Aurangzeb. And whilst Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji sits upon the throne of Guru Nanak, Sher Afghan Khan has been sent to Kashmir. It is said that his sword has taken so much blood. He's been sent with a mandate that convert all by force. Ask them to convert to Islam. If they won't give up their dharam, then take their heads. Ask them first for their janayu, which is the sacred thread that the Brahmins would wear around their body. Ask them to cut off their janayu and accept Islam. If they don't give you the janayu, then take their heads. This was the law that was being passed from those Mughals that had set up the court. It is said that Sher Afghan Khan had amassed Sava Man, 50 kg in weight. If you think of how light that thug guy is, when you put those 10 and 15 plates on either side of that Olympic bar, that's 50 kg. How much that weight is? 4 bags of atta, 12.5 kgs. 50 kg of weight had been amassed of the tagga that had been ripped from the bodies of those that would be giving up their dharam. We're talking hundreds of thousands were giving up their dharam. The Kashmiri Pandits, represented by Kirpa Ram and between 16 and other representatives of those people, they go to Amarnath, which is the place of Shivji Maharaj, and they pray to their Devte. They pray, can you save us from this darkness? And Shivji replies that in this dark age there's only one, the seat of Guru Nanak, that Takht. The Akal Takht of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is the only place that you can go where you'll get your protection. So Kirpa Ram leads those who represent this community of 5,000 Kashmiri Pandits. Can you imagine the thoughts in your mind as you leave your families to seek out a saviour whom you've never seen, who comes from a different place, belongs to a different dharam? Tana Tana Pita, Tana Tana Kola, Tana Tana Su Janani, Jina Guru Janiyamai. Who is this one? They are not of any ordinary lineage. Tana Tan Pita, blessed is the father, Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Tana Tan Kula, blessed is the family. Tana Tan Sud Janani, blessed is that one Mata Nanaki Ji. Sud Janiya, Jina Guru Janiyamai. In that house that this one has been born, this is not an ordinary saviour that they're going to seek out. They're going to seek out the saviour of the entire world. Those Pandits would go, and they would go beneath the same Nishan side that we have all walked past. They walk under the banner of Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, the banner of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj that waves in the sky, that still calls out to us to this day to say, if you're lost, if you're stuck, we'll find a place for you in our house. They would walk under the banner of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj and say, we represent the 5,000 Kashmiri Pandits. We've been told, give up our dharam or we're going to lose our heads. We don't want to give up our dharam. We live for our dharam. Will you stand for us? As the whole darbar of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji goes quiet, what offering should be made? Who's going to stand for these people? A young 8.5-year-old. A young 8.5-year-old Gobind Rai, as they would have been referred to then. They speak up. They say to their father, Father, can I speak? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj says, this darbar, this care is being played out for you to speak. Speak. What is the situation that is currently being discussed? What is the vichar that is taking place in your court? Gobind Rai, these people come to seek salvation. They've been told if they don't give up their dharam, these Kashmiri Pandits, if they don't give up their dharam under the auspices of Aurangzeb, Sher Afghan Khan has been sent to collect their heads. There's 5,000 of them. Such a sacrifice will have to be made to save them. Guru Gobind Rai, as we know from the writings of Bhai Veer Singh, we know from Guru Pratap Suraj Granth, Gobind Rai would say, Father, What greater sacrifice could be made than your own? You are Tegh Bahadur. You are that one that is Tyagi. You are the one that is referred to so affectionately as Tyagmal. That one who is detached from this world. Be what better a sacrifice to make than your own? Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, for the first time now that we'll hear, will test Gobind Rai. They say, if I go, you're going to be fatherless. Gobind Rai replies, if you don't go, many will remain fatherless. What is this game of love? If you don't go, Maharaj, Satguru Ji, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, if you don't go, many will be fatherless. But who greater a sacrifice to make than to offer yourself? And so it was that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, who nobody would stand for, Nemani andi man, Netani andi tan, and Yote andi order, that one who has no place, who has no strength. They've come before Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj just says, you've asked me to stand for you, but I will not let you go. So Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj with Panj Gur Sikhs, Bhai Mati Das, Bhai Sati Das, Bhai Diyala Ji, Bhai Uday Ji, and Bhai Gurditta Ji, a different Bhai Gurditta Ji to the eldest son of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. This is from the lineage of Baba Buddha Ji. They set off, and then we know that they were arrested, and they were taken to Delhi, and they were put in chains. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is placed in the pinjari, they're placed in the cage, and Bhai Mati Das is told to convert to Islam. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji has laid the challenge that if you can convert me, I come here before you voluntarily to stand for those Hindus, but if you can convert me, this is my challenge. If you can convert me or those Gursikhs that are with me, then those Kashmiri Pandits that you're subjugating, that you're persecuting, they will accept Islam. But if you can't convert me, then these must be left be. And that was the challenge placed by Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji to the soldiers, Jalaluddin, the executioners, at the behest that had been sent by Aurangzeb. So it was that by Mati Das Ji, they would be offered many riches, but they would refuse to convert to Islam. And Bhai Mati Das Ji would be sawn in half. And as the saw would rip through their body, they would recite Sri Japji Sahib the part, refusing the offers of riches of this world, for none of these things would go with them. Bhai Diyala Ji would be boiled alive in a cauldron, refusing again the call of Aurangzeb to convert to Islam. Such is the teaching of the Guru Bhi Dige na dole, dirir kar rayo, puran hoy, triptani. Be to always remain firm, to always remain steadfast. Every evening, my brothers, Bhai Jaswinder Pal Singh Ji, Gyani Jaswinder Pal Singh Ji, they would do the kirtan, be thir kar beso har jan pyare. And we just, because we hear it every day, be thir kar, within the home of your own being, apne kar de vich tusi thir rao. Remain this way, beso, in this way. Be how is it that you can remain steadfast in the face of all the obstacles that come to knock you off your way? In the face of all the things that might come to remove you from that path, how is it that we can remain so thir, that we remain isthit, remain unchanging, immovable, unstoppable? Be har jan pyare. Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, this is not a difficult game insofar as it is to understand what we must do. It is not a difficult game insofar as we must understand what we need to do. The teaching is clear. Take the name of God, take the Guru Mantra of Guru Nanak Padsha. Be thir kar beso har jan pyare, Sat Guru tumre kaaj suvare. Dusht doot parmesar mare, jan ki pej rakhi kartare. And in this way, Bhai Mati Das Ji has been sawn in half. Bhai Diyala Ji has been boiled alive in a cauldron of water whilst they recite Sri Sukhmani Sadapat. Bhai Sati Das Ji, the younger brother of Bhai Mati Das, they've had themselves wrapped in cotton wool, and they had a fire set in their flesh. As the flesh is burnt from their bones, that they remain in ever-loving focus of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. And when their body is, when all the muscles and the flesh and the tendons and the ligaments have been burnt to a cinder and it's just the skeleton remaining, by Sati Das Ji's body, they fall in one straight line. We call this dandot, when every aspect of your body, that your limbs, from your ankles, from your toes to your knees, to your hips, to your elbows and your shoulders and your head, all of those points touch the ground, and you lie in a straight line, dandot. They fall in a dandot in the direction of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, who says, Tana Sikhi, Tana Sikhi, Tana Sikhi. And the executioners, they go back, they report to Aurangzeb, we've met out the most cruel, vicious, terrifying acts of execution, but these Guru Sikhs will remain so unflinching. Maybe their Guru is a special Peer, maybe there are special priests, we shouldn't be maybe doing so disrespectful things. If this is the Sikh, then what of the Guru? And so Aurangzeb, hearing that the Sikhs are so steadfast in their love of their Dharam, they send a message back to the messenger, and they say tell Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji that you stand now in defiance of my persecution of those Kashmiri Pandits. I will let you be successful in your stand. Those that you stand for, I'll release them, those 5,000 Kashmiri Pandits. They no longer have to convert to Islam. My condition is that you show me a miracle. Show me a miracle today, and if you show me this miracle, then I will no longer hold you. And I will no longer hold them to account for their heads in place of their Janayu. And then when the messenger comes, Abdullah is the jailer who's come to fall in love with Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. He's the jailer who's been put in charge. He's become a disciple of the Guru. And when the messenger comes and they say to Maharaj, you could be free from this jail, this pinjari, this cage. The cage had spikes on it from below, from above, that you would be sat in a stress position. You couldn't move even in any direction because of the spikes on the cage, in the pinjari. When the messenger comes to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, they say to Maharaj, all you've got to do is show a miracle. How many miracles have you shown? There was many miracles, because this itihas is focusing on one aspect. We've missed out so much itihas that you can read, that you can listen to. There's so many miracles. There's so many times that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji would be seen outside of their cage while they would be doing ishnan, doing vichar, going to Sangat's houses, having prasad there. So many examples. So all you've got to do is now show a miracle on call. Be at the request of the emperor, show us a miracle. The messenger says to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, show us a miracle and we'll let you go. Maharaj, just show us one kotik, one karamat. And what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji would say in reply will echo for eternity. Guru Sahib would say, you're asking me to show you a miracle. My Pai Matidas, my Pai Satidas, my Pai Diyala Ji, my beloved Gur Sikhs, they've just been sawn in half, boiled alive, burned to a cinder without letting out even one scream. Is my Pai Matidas, my Pai Satidas, my Pai Diyala Ji. They've done this Gurbani for people that they don't even know, strangers who live in a faraway place that they've never been to, who belong to a Dharam that they do not. My Guru Sikhs have made the ultimate sacrifice for people of a different Dharam that they don't even know, from a place that they've never been to. But if you don't recognize that miracle, then what miracle is there for you to see today? I often think what Aurangzeb, in their deranged mind, might have been thinking that he should pull out a rabbit from a hat or perform some sort of a card trick. But what miracle is there for you to see? If you're blind to see this miracle, if you're blind to see this miracle, to have Vishwash, to have that Parosa in the Ort, in the strength of the house of the Guru, then what is it that we need to see? Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, we often ask ourselves, Maharaj, show me the way. If we to direct our minds to Itihas, we would see that it's already been given. We're asking Guru Maharaj to show us a miracle. The fact that we stand here in the house of the Guru, underneath the Nishan that flies freely, not under another Nishan through persecution, with the way has already been shown to us. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj says, no. There'll be no miracles. There'll be no miracles here today. And Jalaluddin, the executioner, is getting ready, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is in their pinjari, and this is the historical context. This is the situation we find ourselves in. And a messenger comes from Anandpur Sahib. They say, Maharaj, when you left, you didn't even announce to the Sangat that you were leaving. The Sangat in Anandpur Sahib now hear that you're not even going to return. That through your own will, it would have been easy for you to just satisfy the conditions of the emperor. But through your own hukum, through remaining in the hukum of Vaheguru, it looks like you're not even going to return. Be the Sangat of Anandpur Sahib, they're in distress. Maharaj, your mother, Mata Nanaki Ji, she is also worried for you, as like any mother would. Be Maharaj, Mata Gujari Ji, that one who has remained with you for so long, for 26 years and 9 months and 13 days. Nome Pacha Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, leading up to this time, would spend their time at Bakala in Apora doing Bhakti. For 26 years, 9 months and 13 days, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji remained unflinching, vibrating on the Guru Mantra of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, vibrating on the Bani of the Guru. All the while, Mata Gujari Ji was there, in dutiful seva, in the company of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Be the sevadar, the messenger is saying to Maharaj, be Maharaj, Mata Nanak Ji is worried for you. Mata Gujari Ji, your male, your wife, she also calls for you. She's also concerned for you. The Sangat are worried for you. Mata Ji and your wife, be what of them? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. And it was in this context, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, it was at this time that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj would call for parchi, they would call for paper, they would call for ink, and that jailer that had fallen in love with the Guru had allowed for the Sangat to go freely to pass these things, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj would scribe themselves, be ek oankar sat gur prasad Salok Mahalla Nava Gun Gobind Gayo Nehi Janame Akarat Kina Kaho Nanak Har Pajamana Jehe Bid Jal Ko Meena. My brothers and sisters, my friends, the Shabad that we read isn't just a poem. It's the most beautiful poetry you ever read. But it's not just a poem. It's not just a Shabad. This is the living embodiment of the Guru. Did we ever know that Salok Mahalla Nava was written to us by Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji in a pinjari, in the cage? Did we ever know this? That when we're blessed with what is referred to affectionately as Po Gandhi Saloka, the sloks that we read at the end of a Khand Part, a Sage Part, this is the context from which Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is writing to us about death from a place. They're on the precipice. They're on the edge of their physical remaining in this world. They sit upon the edge of a precipice, having seen by Mati Das Ji, by Sati Das Ji, by Diyalaji reduced. And from that place we can say we know death. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is the giver of life. And as they sit upon this precipice, they give us these teachings. They say the Sangat of Anandpur Sahib, they're worrying, and they scribe the first parts of Salok Mahalla Nava. Salok Mahalla Nava, incorrectly pronounced, my Ustad, my Santi Ustad has just come and sat in the Sangat, so I should point this out. Some people pronounce this Salok Mahalla Nava, because in Punjabi, ninth in Punjabi is Nava, but the correct pronunciation is Nava. The Bani Salok Mahalla Nava is split into 3 sections. The first 49 Saloks were dedicated in response to the Sangat's asara, the Sangat's requests, their supplications, their ardas, Abi Maharaj, we're feeling dukh and we're feeling that separation from you. Give us a teaching that will help us understand our situation. Help us understand the situation, our predicament that we find ourselves in. And so these first 49 saloks are directly in response to the Sangat. Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, that if we find ourselves in difficult times and our mind is in a state of unrest, these saloks are for us. We are the Sangat, if you will, in the metaphorical sense of Anandpur Sahib. We are the Sangat in our own lives that are struggling day to day. Be Maharaj, you feel so far from me. As I sit here, I don't feel an Anand. Be Maharaj, help me. And Guru Maharaj is giving this teaching to us. We're obviously not going to go through all of the saloks that are here, that are with us, but we'll just touch upon some of the saloks so that we can get a flavor, be very transparent with you. The intention today is just to give you an insight into the ras, the taste that you can experience, the bliss you can experience, and the answers that you will receive. Maharaj begins these saloks for the Sangat that are in a feeling of anxiousness. They say, Gun Gobind Gayo Nehi. They're very straight to the point. They say, you're asking me to give you some asana, some teaching, but take this teaching into your heart. Gunu Gobind, that if you don't sing of the gun, of the virtue of Gobind. Gobind is that one who is the protector of the whole universe. In English, we have the word God. In Gurmukhi, we have so many different animations, so many different expressions for the different aspects of the Creator, of Parmeshwar Vaheguru. And Gobind, I'm not sure I'm allowed to say this, is probably one of my favorites. It gives us a complete understanding. We are in your Rakhya, we are in your protection. Gunu Gobind Gayo Nehi Janame Akarat Takin. Maharaj is saying, yo, if you do not speak of the virtues of Parmeshwar Vaheguru, if you do not sing of the virtues of God, Janame Akarat Takin, it's like your life is rendered completely useless. You've completely wasted your time here. Gyani Kulwant Singh Ji explains this really clearly. They say, imagine you spend your whole life collecting a specific currency. Yeah, like for example, Bitcoin, yeah, or one of these coins that are like going up millions of percent a day. A specific currency. Gyani doesn't speak specifically about crypto, but they're saying, imagine you spend your whole life collecting a specific line of something. And then at the end of your life, you realize that the conversion rate for that is 0. Because that's exactly what it's like for most people that are wandering around this world. The total value of the conversion of everything that we're doing in this world beyond Simran and Seva has a conversion rate of 0. Janame Akarat Takin, Gunu Gobind Gayo Nehi, Janame Akarat Takin, Kaho Nanaka Har Bhaj Mana. Knowing this, says Guru Maharaj, Kaho Nanaka Har Bhaj Mana, Jeh Bid Jalko Mean. They say, knowing this to be true, and they use a very specific word here. They say Har Bhaj. They don't just say speak or sing. They say Bhaj. Bhaj has got a very beautiful association, a beautiful understanding. The way that I would translate it is like to vibrate upon, to merge with, to get in the groove of. Kaho Nanak Har Bhaj Mana, Kaho Nanak Har Bhaj Mana, Kaho Nanak Har Bhaj Mana, Jeh Bid Jal Ko Meena. How? Just as a fish in water cannot, in this way, Maharaj used the example of a fish in water. And it's really interesting, when we go to those great ones that have walked before us, they give us such an understanding of what this means. Kaho Nanak Har Bhaj Mana, Jeh Bid Jal Ko Mean. Well, the obvious first example is that if you take a fish out of water, it would die, right? You can see pictures of these fishes. If you watch this documentary, Seaspiracy, about how this world is just being destroyed by those that are like trailing the bottom of the ocean, ripping all of the world's fishes out of the ground, out of the seabeds and the algae and things like this. When the fishes come up and they're put on the boat, they're literally just gasping for that water that they've been in all this time. Maharaj is giving this example that just as a fish cannot live outside of water because there's no way of pushing that liquid through their lungs absent the water for the oxygen to be separated and that respiratory system to work, in this way, without that water the fish will die. Understand that without the name, without the Guru Mantra of Guru Nanak Pacha in our day, we're also dead. That's the living truth of it, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji. Every day in Reras, Guru Nanak Pacha gives us this teaching, be Akha Jiva Visre Mar Jao. That I'm only alive. Akha, when I'm singing, when I'm speaking of you. Akha Jiva Visre, when I forget you, Mar Jao. Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji. But what's our condition? Going back to that example of a fish in water, that if you would go to a fish that has been swimming all of its life and you try to describe water to that fish, the fish would be like, what are you talking about? There's no liquid here. You try and speak to the fish of the qualities of water that surrounds it, it doesn't know any different. That's exactly our condition. We think that Parmeshwar Vaheguru is so far away that when someone tries to speak to us, when the Katha speaks to our heart, before our heart can receive it, our mind intervenes, and they said, that Parmeshwar Vaheguru that you say so close, but I've never known him to be near me. Unbeknownst to us, just as the fish wouldn't recognize water, couldn't see the water, Bi gave ko vekhe hadra hadur. We should sing the praises of that one. Guru Nanak Pacha explains that they are even closer to us than we even know. Kehe Ravidas haat pe nere sehje hoye sohoye. Says Bhagat Ravidas Ji that Parameshwar of Vaheguru is even closer to you than your own hands and feet. Isn't that really comforting? When we think about that, we feel like we're so far away. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj gives us his teaching. We should meditate on the name of God in such a way that just as we should recognize that a fish cannot live outside of water, we should recognize also that we can't exist without the name of God. Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, if we were to be honest with ourselves about how we sometimes wake up, the feelings that grab us, the feelings of anxiety, the feelings of sadness, and we've come to just accept this without challenge, that this is the way that we have to be. Does it? If we just break this down for a second, that in the house of Guru Nanak Pacha, the king of all kings, do you think it's such that as Sikh of the Guru, that we should have to wake and feel this way? Me personally, I feel that in the house of a king, we should feel, if we follow the teachings of that kingdom, that feeling of waking and feeling of separation should be for those that don't have a king. That feeling of things aren't quite right in my mind, I'm not quite settled, I'm not quite balanced, that is for someone that doesn't have a place. But we have the Nishan Sahib of Guru Nanak Pacha calling out to us every day. We are the children of the Guru. If we were to remember Jehe Bid Jal Ko Ameen, that we need to call upon that name, but how might our day change from tomorrow? That if we don't just let this be a nice bit of theory, a nice little bit of nice thing that we've heard, and we start to just dip our toes in the water and just say, let's just indulge in this for a moment, that tomorrow is going to be different to today. For tomorrow, I'm going to vibrate upon the name of God. I'm going to let go and I'm going to feel that ocean of love. Now the idea of waking tomorrow with the blessings of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and sitting and doing Simran doesn't seem like such a far away task. Now the only thought in your mind is, why haven't I been doing this already? Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, the beauty about this day, bahota karam likhya na jaye. There's been so many gifts bestowed upon us. Sant Gyani Gurbani Singh Ji Khasa Pindra Wale, that make it clear to us the greatest gift that we've been given is the gift of this breath. And if you're lucky enough to wake tomorrow, wake a little bit earlier still. That if you're lucky enough to wake a little bit, if you're lucky enough to wake tomorrow morning, wake a little bit earlier still, and give yourself that time to be in Anand, to be in that blissful experience of the Guru Mantra of the Guru, and understand that you can't live without it, and perhaps the Jivan, the day will go a bit differently. You'll be your own witness as to how it might sound. If you look deep down into your soul, your heart right now, as we sit before the Guru, the idea is pulling at your heartstrings. It's up to you to have the courage to convert this from Sunanan, you've heard this, be Mananan, take that teaching, believe in it, Nidhyasan. The Guru Sahib, the great ones have talked to us. It's in that great conversion from listening and believing, when we take that step of Nidhyasan, we take that step of acting upon those teachings. Let's make that commitment as we sit before the Guru. Be Guru Maharaj, give us this blessing that tomorrow I have a chance to wake and I have a chance to do Simran upon your name. Akho Satanam Sri Vaheguru 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 Vaheguru. Let's wake a little bit earlier tomorrow. Let's give ourselves 15 minutes earlier. Let's sit down in the company of that nice corner of that room that we made so nice for a day that we would use. We've not yet used it. Let's sit in that place before the world takes us, and let Guru Sahib take us instead in their lap. As we take the Guru Mantra of Guru Nanak, we vibrate upon that Shabad that echoes for eternity. Let's give ourselves a little bit of time to live in the morning, before the day takes us. And let's talk about our experience. We should celebrate that. When we come here, Tish Vich Tarti Thabrakhi Dharamsal, when we come into the Guru's house, we were doing Simran, then we bring something here. Wouldn't it be nice if we had some chips on the table? Wouldn't it be nice as we came to the Guru Ghar, we don't just come, we're always going to be beggars before the Guru, but wouldn't it be nice if we came here with a few chips on the table and we can sit down and say, I've been doing Simran, Maharaj. Maharaj, where am I right now? We haven't got any chips in the game. We're wondering why we're not winning. We want to have a stack. We haven't even got any. We're not even willing to put a few chips down the table. Maybe I shouldn't be using that example here, but you guys all know what I mean. No, Amandeep Singh is not advocating gambling. Yeah, what I'm saying is that we should be having an opportunity. We should be bringing something here. We should be dedicating ourselves in our houses, that when we come to the Guru's Darbar, we can take what we've done during the course of the week and we can present it to the Guru. See, Maharaj, can you amplify this for me? We're coming here without anything. And I'm speaking just to myself here. And in this way, let's bring something to the house. Let's bring something to the Guru and see what the Guru can do see what the Guru can do for us with that. So, the first, we've just touched upon one or two arth of the first salok of the first 49. Can you see the depth of this ocean of love? Of these bhog, these sloka, these sloks that are read out at the end of a sehaj part, at the end of a khand part. Those sloks were written by Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj as they sit in the Pinjari. Say, Mata Nanaki Ji, she's calling out. She is also calling out, Maharaj, she's worried for you. Your mother, the wife of Guru Tegh, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, they're calling out for you. And Guru Maharaj would write two more saloks. They would say, these saloks are for Mata Nanaki Ji. That one who is worried that her son is going to leave this world. Ram gayo, Ravan gayo, Jako pahu paravar, Kaho Nanak thir kach nahi, Supne jo sansara. चिंता ताकी कीजिए जो अनहोनी होए ए मार्ग संसार को नानक थिर नहीं कोए. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj sends these two, they write these two saloks for Mata Nanaki Ji. They say, Ram gayo, Ravan gayo, Jako bahu paravar. They send these two saloks also. What we'll just touch upon these saloks. Maharaj is saying, Ram gayo. One arth we can say this is talking about Ramchandra from a previous age. They say that one with a great kingdom, they've left this world. Ravan gayo, Ravan, that great demon that kidnapped Sita, and whose family is said that they had 100,000 sons in their home. They had 150,000 grandchildren in their house. That's how big their family was. But even Ravan, a time would come when there was none left of their generations to even light a candle in their house. Jako bahu paravar, Kaho Nanak thir kach nahi, says Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj to Mata Nanaki Ji. If Ram has come to leave this world, if Ravan has come to leave this world, then you should understand that everyone that has come will have to leave this world. Kaho Nanak thir kach nahi, Supne jo sansar, says Guru Maharaj, nothing is thir. This word thir comes up a great deal in Gurbani. Thir translates, you can say how you say istit. Istit meaning of no permanence. Is never going to be not forever. Double negative there. It will always perish. Has no infinite nature to it, we can say. Thir is the opposite. So thir means that which is going to remain forever. Guru Sahib saying, Kaho Nanak thir kach nahi, nothing is thir. Nothing is permanent in this world. So we have a really interesting understanding of the word truth. In English and Gurmukhi, the word truth has completely different meanings. And you do really well to understand this. When you approach Gurbani, if you understand what truth is in the Western sense compared to the Eastern sense, then you'll take a better understanding to Gurbani, you'll get a better understanding of our living Guru. So in English we say, tell the truth. And if you're not telling the truth, you're lying, right? And so truth and false are like two opposites, yeah? Two sides of a coin. In Gurbani, truth has one specific meaning. In most contexts, truth means that which is forever, unchanging, infinite, which will never perish, will never reduce, will always be exactly as it is right now. So when you take truth to be this definition, only one thing is true, and that is Parameshwar Vaheguru. And when people talk about, this is just a quick departation, but it's relevant, very relevant to the issues we face in our communities, right? We use words like, I love him, or I love him and my love is true. And we use these words to try and justify coming outside of Sikhi. We see a lot of these interfaith relationships taking place, and they take place, from my perspective, I only have compassion for those people because they're taking place from a place of misguided ignorance. Because the only love which is true is that love that is always going to be born out. And any relationship in this world, all relationships in this world ultimately end when you end from this world. And so that's why when we say that your love in this world isn't true, the Guru is not being harsh, they're giving you a higher understanding. But yes, we should love our children. We should love our wives. We should love our families. But we should not understand that that is the truth. Because that gives it a higher position than it actually afforded to it under the hukum of Waheguru. And people struggle with this concept. They say, how can you be so cruel as to say that my love is not true? But the only true friend, the only true companion, Sajan Banda Samitrasyo Har Naam Hirde Dehe. Guru Sahib says the only true friend that you've got, the only true Sajan Mitra, the only high true one that we have, Har Naam Hirde Dehe, is the one that instills Naam within you, because they're the one that will be with you even after this world, as we'll hear just very shortly. So that's just a quick departation. So this teaching, Maharaj is saying, be Ram gayo, Ravan gayo, Jako Bahu Paravar. Be even all of their families, they've gone as well. Kaho Nanaka Thir Kach Nahi. This whole world is false. Nothing in this world is true. Supane Jio Sansar. In your mind you're thinking, how can it be false? I'm sitting right here. Supane Jio Sansar. Maharaj gives us an example therefore to help our minds carry it, to help our minds bear the weight of this truth. Be Supane Jio Sansar, just as the way of a dream. Maharaj is saying this, 1675, they're giving us this teaching, Kaho Nanaka Thir Kach Nahi, Supane Jio Sansar, Supane Jio Sansar. We understand this to be true, that this whole world is like a dream. And that takes a lot of weight off our shoulders. The meeting doesn't take place at 9:30 the way it was supposed to. We get in such a panic. We get ourselves all twisted up. Yeah? But if we were just to take a moment to reflect, or if we'd started our day with some Simran, and we'd reflect upon the sloks of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj as we left our house and our meeting has got delayed, or that person cut us up on the road, we'd say, Kaho Nanaka Thera Kach Nahi, Supane Jio Sansar. Why am I going to live in death in that moment? This whole world is a dream. There's no truth to this world. Beyond when we're spending our time beyond this world in the remembrance of Waheguru. Akho Satanam Siri Waheguru. Maharaj sends this to Mata Nanaki Ji. Why are you asking? Why is your concern on that which is impossible? You're asking for me to remain, but everybody has to go, says Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Why would you place your asra? Why would you place your desire in that place where reality is never going to follow? And it seems so obvious outwardly, but Guru Pyari Sal Sangat Ji, in a way, we're all Mata Nanaki Ji. As we build in this world these houses of stone that we think are going to be forever, when the bodies that are occupying them are not, shouldn't we be building those bricks within our own hirda, within our own heart, that are going to go with us? Chinta ta ki kijiye jo anhoni hoye, eh marg sansar ko nanak thir nahi koye. Maharaj says to Mata Nanaki Ji, because obviously speaking from a place of love and compassion, those words on themselves may fall upon a heart looking for an embrace. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is that one that will cover everyone with that chadar. They're the one that will give everybody what they need. They say, Chinta ta ki kijiye. Why do you worry? Jo anhoni hoy. Everything's going to occur according to His will. Eh marg sansar ko. The way of this world is that nothing is permanent. They're reminding us again, they're doubling down, because sometimes it takes a few lessons to break patterns that are formed over lifetimes and generations. The way of this world, it should be understood that nothing within it is permanent. And why was it that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj was saying, why are you placing your desire on that which is impossible? In my mind, when I heard that, I was like, but Maharaj, you can do anything. Anything is within your control. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying, this is why you placing your desire on that which is impossible. It was impossible, Sadh Sangat Ji, because it was the hukum of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj that this would occur. This was being played out as a teaching to all of us, that the only place that we should place our asara is upon the Shabad of the Guru. And then Mata Gujri Ji. What teaching is sent for Mata Gujri Ji? That male, that mother, that wife of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, that grandmother to us all. Guru Sahib gives his teaching, bhi jo upjo so binas hai, paro aaj ke kaal, nanak har gun gaile, chhad sagal janjal. They say in a similar fashion to their wife, bhi jo upjo, whatever's born in this world, so binas hai, will come to end. Paro aaj ke kaal, either today, aaj ke kaal, kalu. Aaj pame kalu, e naas honaya. This is going to come to pass. Jo upjo so binis hai paro aaj ke kaal, nanak har gun gaile, chhad sagal janjal. Vibrate upon the name of God. Sing the Simran of Waheguru. Nanak har gun gaile, chhad sagal janjal. Be shed yourself from all of these attachments in the world. If ever there was a motivation to find some time, there was an example, Buddha. Once someone came to Buddha once and they said, give me something that will give me some release. They say you should try and meditate for an hour a day, because I'm so busy, I've got no time. I can't do that. I'm so busy, I can't do that. They go, if you've got no time to do that, he goes, there's no way I can do that for an hour. Absolutely no chance. Give me something else. Because if you haven't got an hour to meditate in your life because you're that enraptured in this world, then my solution to you is that you should take some time out and do 2 hours a day. This teaching is that if we haven't got time, that's not a measure, that's not a factual statement. What it is a reflection of our state of mind and how enraptured and how much we've dug ourselves into this world. So Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, we come now to the focus. Those teachings were sent. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj says, really focus on this Sadh Sangat Ji, because you'll hear this now in that Khand part and you'll be like, I know exactly what was going on when this happened. At this point, Maharaj says, what of Gobind Rai? I'm going to say Guru Gobind Singh Ji from here on in, but the correct reference that would have been used at the time was Gobind Rai, the young nine-year-old physical form, the physical master manifestation of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, that Puran Guru Avatar. They say, what of Gobind Rai? I've got a test for him. And they give this teaching of their condition. They say, Bal Shutkyo Bandan Pare, Kashu na hote opay, Kaho Nanak ab othar, Gajjo ho sahai. They write of their condition, they say, Bal Shutkyo, all of my strength is gone. As they find themselves in this cage, you might understand this contextually. Bal Shutkyo Bandan Pare, Kashu na hote opay. I've got there's no power within my hands. Kaho Nanak ab othar, Gajjo ho sahai. Can you save me just as you saved the elephant? We'll come on to the elephant in a minute. They send this teaching to Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj as a test. So Maharaj gives the messenger an ashara. They say, take these 49 sloks, this 50 and 51st slok, and this 52nd slok, and this 53rd slok for Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, take them to Anandpur Sahib, and tell Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj that I request of you a reply. This is a question to you, but give me your jawab. And you will have no one in your way. There's no need for you to eat. There's no thirst that will grip you. We travel without any stopping, go straight to Anandpur Sahib and deliver these teachings and let the Sangat know that this is my jawab to your situation, to your halat. And so the messenger goes and they go before Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj with these teachings, and Guru Maharaj convenes all of the Sangat of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. They call for Mata Nanaki Ji, they call for Mata Gujri Ji. And the Sangat are there as the recitation of these sloks are given to the Sangat. Can you imagine you're the Sangat of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj? You hear that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is in a pinjri. But what of Bhai Mati Das, Bhai Sati Das, Bhai Diyala Ji? What will befall of our Guru, great Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj? And they're hearing not of their own situation, they're hearing the Guru give the Sangat their own advice about how to alleviate their own pain. Even now, the Guru is concerned with the condition of the Sangat. Guru Maharaj, the sloks are read out. Maharaj directs the messenger to read to Mata Nanaki Ji the 2 sloks that have been sent for her ears in the presence of all the Sangat. And Mata Nanaki Ji says, I'm very attached It's written in our history that she says, I'm very attached to my Guru Tegh Bahadur, my son. I hope to live up to these teachings. What teaching is this to us? What humility is this to us? Mata Nanaki Ji, that great one who is the wife of the Guru, she's teaching us, it's about making that effort. Udam kare palke parpati. Make an effort. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj's wife, Mata Nanaki Ji, when I heard that, it melted my heart. Mata Ji, they are that Mahapurukh, that great one, but they're teaching us through humility that if you don't consider yourself able to close the gap, make steps. That if you find yourself far from where you need to be, that's not a statement, that's a journey. Make some steps. Was there a teaching for me, says Gobind Rai? There was a teaching for you. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, here's the salok that is read. Bhi balshut kyo bandan pare, kachu na hote upaye, kahu nanaka ab odhar, gaj jo ho sahai. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj is saying in this salok, I have no power in me, save me like you did the elephant. The reference to an elephant, I had to research this to find out, I didn't understand. There's a previous example of an elephant. The king of elephants, his name was Gajinder. And there was a river which is about 8 kilometers from Patna Sahib. This elephant was bathing in the river. And a crocodile, some say an octopus, but a crocodile came and gripped onto the leg of that elephant. And the elephant crying out in pain to Parameshwar Vaheguru, please save me. Parameshwar Vaheguru, hearing the cries of that elephant, becomes Pargat in the form of Vishnu avatar, and they destroyed that crocodile. They destroyed the crocodile, saving that elephant. And so Guru Maharaj is using that example, a very famous example from a previous time. Just as you saved the elephant, can you save me? This is a test. This is not a statement of fact. Maharaj is testing Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. They send that statement, that salok. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, they read the salok. They said, this is for you. The messenger says to Guru Gobind Rai, but this is a message for you. And Guru Gobind Rai replies, this is no statement, this is a test. Immediately, Gobind Rai, in 9 years old, they reply, Bal ho abandan chute, sab kich hote upaye, Nanak sab kich tumre haath mein, tum hi ho sahaye. Nanak sab kich tumre haath mein, Nanak sab kich tumre haath mein, Nanak sab kich tumre haath mein, tum hi ho sahaye. They say, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, what do you mean you have no strength? Balhoa, you are the giver of strength. It is by your gift that the sun rises and sets. Bandhan Shute, you're saying that you're in bondage, that you're in chains. Bandhan Shute, you're the one that destroys all the chains. Sab kicho hote upaye. Everything is in your control. If you were to just open your hand, universes would be created. And if you were to close your hand, everything can become destroyed. Nanak sab kich tumre haath mein. Everything is in you, Maharaj. But what do you speak of? You are no elephant. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gives us a true meaning of this. They explain that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is no elephant. The elephant is the Kashmiri Pandits, who are kept in the crocodile's jaws. Who is the crocodile? Aurangzeb. It's Aurangzeb that has this elephant of Hindustan within his grips. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, you are that incarnation. You are, in this example, you are Vishnu avatar. Let's just change the roles to who they really are. You are Vishnu avatar. You are the one that is the destroyer of all those chains. Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, we sit here free because of the blood given to us by Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. We think ourselves incapable of wonderful things in this world. We should remember where we come from. As we make steps, as we set goals, we don't make them from your own small mind. I'm not speaking to you, Sad Sangat Ji, I'm talking to myself here. Bhai Amandeep Singh, don't set your goals based on your own minds. We come from kings. We should measure our abilities and our abilities to move forward as such. Guru Gobind Rai, their salok is sent back. And when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj's salok, and that slok is brought back to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji in the Pinjri. When that happens, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj says, you've passed the test. But you understood. And they write 3 more saloks, which we're not going to have time to touch upon today, but Guru Pyari Sahib Sangat Ji, make it yours to touch upon. And those saloks complete the Shabad of Salok Mahalla. Now, a great Mahapurukh have said that if we come into the company of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, when a Khand Path is being read, you'll have heard as you were growing up, as you were putting on your shoes, what time is the Bhog? This phrase has been caught. We've never understood the meaning. The reason why the Sangat has so much prem to come for the Bhog, the Saloka, was because the Shakti of the Salok, the Salok Mahalla is such that it is said by great beings that to hear Salok Mahalla is to get the blessings of the whole Sahaj Path. This is the bakshish of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. We know that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj would refuse the calls to convert to Islam, that the sword would be raised, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji would recite Sri Japji Sada Path as they would offer their head in protection of the freedoms that we all now enjoy. Sir diya, par sir na diya. They would offer their head, but they would never give up their dharam. Be what choice do we make as we look in the mirror? Be who are we trying to sell ourselves for? As we cut our gears, as we conform socially at the pub after work. Be who is it that we're trying to satisfy? And whose asisa are we seeking for, if not the Gurus? Guru Pyari Sahib Sangat Ji, let's take some steps. Let's wake a little bit early in the mornings. Let's play Salok Mahalla Nava in our houses. Let's listen to the Katha of Salok Mahalla Nava. That those teachings vibrate at our houses. That when we're blessed with children, we've got something to share with them. We've got something to say. So Guru Pyari Sahib Sangat Ji, we must have made many mistakes. There was so much more that I wanted to share with the Sangat. But this is a Sukh Sagar. This is an ocean, a never-ending ocean of teachings and love and blessings. The only question we have to ask ourselves is, are we going to dive in and make our life about experiencing this bliss, this Anand? Let's recite together the first Salok of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji just once. We'll recite this 52nd and the 52nd and the 53rd Salok, the 53rd and 54th Salok of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Be bal shuttikyo bandhan pare. We'll recite these together if we can. And let's make it a challenge that if we haven't heard these sloks before, that we'll try and memorize them. That when we're thinking bal shuttikyo, we can hear bal hoa. And in this way we can understand a change of perspective. I'm not an elephant, I'm not a victim in my circumstance, but I have Vishnu with me. I have Puran Guru Avatar, Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji with us. So bal shuttikyo bandhan pare, kashu na hote upaye, kaho nanak ab ot har, gaj jo ho sahaye. Bal hoa bandhan pare, sab kich hote upaye, nanak sab kich tumre haath mein, tume hi ho sahaye.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.